Welcome back to another interview from the Draw Control podcast. On today's episode, I am joined by Kait Henning, who is a senior on the Colgate women's lacrosse team. In Kait's college career so far with Colgate, she has played in 54 games and has 69 goals, 21 assists, 23 ground balls, and 7 caused turnovers. Before college, Kait helped her team to a District 1 championship and Central League championship while being an academic All-American and earning first team All Central League honors as a senior and being named to the team's Ambassador Award as well. Kait, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. And how is everything going?
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Well, I'm excited to have you on as well. And obviously, at the time of this recording, your team is currently 7-6. So I guess my first question to you is, what have you taken away from your team's performance so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's super exciting to be 7-6 after coming off a tough season last year. I'm really proud of the girls and the investment and the work that we've had, but we're far from over. We still got three regular season games left and hopefully playoffs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, and obviously you're a senior this year, so what type of leadership have you tried to bring towards the team? Would you consider yourself more of a vocal leader or lead by example type of player?
It's a good question. I would probably consider myself more of a lead by example type of player, but I'm super lucky to have so many good, like we have a large senior class full of leaders, four other captains who take on more of a vocal role sometime, which I'm super grateful for. So I feel like I can step more into that leading by example role, obviously speaking when necessary, but I think I would go more with the example role.
Now, obviously you're having an incredible senior year, so what would you say has been like the biggest improvement you've made to your game?
I would say me personally, actually, my shots. We've been super lucky to have Coach Abby Rafis as our offensive assistant this year. And I feel like our whole offense has come a long way with our development in our sets and our ball movement. But me specifically, I would say my individual shooting has gotten better as the season's progressed. It's definitely something like super shooting for me has been always like a mental thing for me. Like if you, I mean, all athletes know like you go up and down and you're like highs and lows of your season. So definitely there's parts of your season where you're like either hot or you're cold. And yeah, I think it's definitely gotten a lot better through the patience and good coaching from my coaching staff and my teammates.
Yeah, obviously, specifically, a specific example was last game against Lafayette. You scored the game winner on a free position goal. Talk a little bit about like what was going through, how you handled that situation mentally, knowing that it's going to be a big part of the game, and what was it like sort of getting that shot off and having it be a game winner?
Well, first of all, I mean, I was definitely on the line at the end, but Lucy, Caroline, Aubrey, all the offensive, Ella, all the offensive girls put up a really good day to be able to have us in that position. But yeah, definitely knew the time was winding down. This was an important one. Think I had two mistake meters before then. I was like, I knew this one had to be good. I went high the past two, so I figured I'd mix it up and go low. And yeah, I mean, as a senior, I've been in some positions before where I knew you had to deliver. And something we stress is like, obviously, there's high pressure moments and like to be able to execute. And yeah, got that one done. So that was good.
Now, like you mentioned before, your team's wrapping up the regular season with 3 games remaining. What are your thoughts about the upcoming schedule that your team has, and how do you hope to end off the regular season?
Yeah, so we have BU tomorrow, Lehigh, and then Army as our rest of our Pat League play. All games I think are super winnable, also games that are super competitive, and I think that's something that's special about the Patriot League. A very competitive league. These teams are very good, but I think we can win out if we execute the way we're supposed to. We're supposed to, and yeah, I'm really excited to finish strong with these 3 games and hopefully more.
Yeah. How does the Patriot League playoff work? Like, how many teams get into the conference playoffs?
So it's top six. Should know this by now. I'm a senior, but I'm pretty sure it's top six. I don't really personally focus too much on. I'm a more like game to game type of player.
Yeah.
So like right now, I'm only like Boston University focused for tomorrow. But I definitely in the back of my head definitely have those standings moving around. There were a couple upsets last weekend, so definitely it's definitely in the back of my mind. But yeah,
Yeah.
Boston tomorrow.
Oh, there's so many conferences and they change the playoff formats all the time. So I get
Yeah.
confused about it too. So don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's top six.
Yeah, no, obviously with BU, they're always been a really competitive team in the Patriot League. What makes them like a good team from your perspective, especially defensively, since you're attackers. So I'm curious, like what sort of defensive, I guess, tactically makes them good?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how much I'm supposed to say about their defense and our scout, but we
Well,
just
this
went over that
episode will be out
yesterday.
probably after the game, so I guess it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Okay. Um, they play a zone or have historically played a zone, so we're definitely prepared for a zone, a strong zone, and a man as well. We have different sets for each defense. Obviously, historically have strong goalies. This really strong, so we definitely it's a competitive game every year. For me, this BU and Bucknell are my two that I like really want to get. So obviously want to get them all, but like this will be a good one and super competitive and maybe get a little chippy. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah, those are always the most fun games to play, at least from
Hmm.
my perspective. So I
Hmm.
assume you guys like it as players. But
Yeah.
let's transition now to the beginning of your lacrosse career and sort of work all the way up to where you are now with Colgate. So from the research I did on yourself, it says that you're from Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania. Talk about growing up there and how'd you start playing lacrosse?
Yeah, so Philadelphia suburbs, definitely a big lacrosse area. But I played basketball and soccer growing up. So I was a little bit later start to lacrosse. I would say like maybe like early middle school, which doesn't seem super late now, but at the time it did. Like everyone was already on it. And funny story, I actually fought my parents. I didn't want to go. I was like, I like my basketball, I like my soccer, cried, but I went and I ended up really, really liking it because I feel like it's a good combination of soccer and basketball and what I enjoyed. So I really enjoyed it right away. And then my brother plays as well. He's a sophomore at Penn State and plays on the team there. So we grew up kind of playing the sport together, which was awesome in the area. So yeah.
You guys ever practice against each other in the summer, I assume?
Never 1v1s. I think I might get laid out, but he also plays offense, so we shoot together a good amount. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely iron sharpens iron, and that's good when you
Yeah.
have another lacrosse player in the house during the summertime. So,
Yeah, for sure.
and shout out to your parents because obviously it ended up working out that they made you play lacrosse. So,
Yeah, no, shout out to them. My brother even gave him a bigger fight about playing lacrosse, so it's
oh
funny.
wow. So both two sh
Yeah,
double times two shout out for that. So that's
so
awesome.
funny.
Now, who was like your favorite team and player that you like to watch growing up?
It's a good question. I was never one to like hyper fixate on one team. I know some of my friends like love certain teams growing up. My parents are from Central Pennsylvania, so diverting from lacrosse, we were big Steelers fans growing up. So I have good memories of watching that with my parents and just kind of we've always been with March Madness just happening. I always love watching that. Like I'm super into the a lot of different competitive leagues and games without focusing on one team specifically. I know it's not really answer your question, but
Yeah,
I like to
yeah,
mix it
no.
up.
I'm a
Like
Patriots
there's a lot
fan,
you can learn
so
from a whole bunch of different sports. Sorry, you're a Patriots fan?
yeah, yeah. So like obviously I remember those battles against the Steelers pretty well, and luckily we
Yeah.
got better most of them. So but that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, those Steelers teams were fun to watch, and they're always in it every year. So even when you don't think they are,
Mm,
so I don't know if
mm.
that you like that or not. But now I am curious. Like before college, you played for your high school at Garnet Valley. So what was your high school lacrosse experience like? And do you have like a favorite memory from your time there, looking back on it now?
It's a good question. Yeah, I was super lucky playing lacrosse at Garnet Valley. It was very competitive in the Central League. We played against good teams like Radnor and Conestoga, and I had a lot of really good players I was following. So the couple grades above me had some really good talent, and I feel like I was learning every day, and not just from the lacrosse ability, but the way that they carried themselves and like ran a program and like the investment. I feel like I got a lot out of, and that really prepared me for college lacrosse. And I was lucky to play with my best friends like every day after practice, like we would play. So. That was great. And then, sorry, I lost track of the question. I got distracted by going about
Do you
lacrosse.
have like a favorite memory from their time there?
No, favorite memory. But yeah, it was super competitive. And my favorite memory, though, was actually senior year. We beat like a private school in our area and that we weren't really expected to beat because we had graduated a lot of good talent. And yeah, we pulled that one through. Spring break. So it was a good time. It was fun.
Oh
It's
yeah,
my
for
favorite
sure.
one.
I couldn't find any club lacrosse team that you played for growing up, so I just would want to ask, did you play club lacrosse growing up? And if so, how did that sort of help prepare you for college?
Yeah, I played for NXT in the Philly area. It was yeah, more of a newer club when I was growing up, but it ended up being a really, really good experience. I ended up coaching back for there the past couple summers. Loved the people. It definitely really helped me with the fundamentals and like being able to grow and then like take that into my high school game and then back to club. And it was kind of like a cycle that I was really happy about. So the coaches were there, were great. Yeah.
And like you mentioned, you played basketball and soccer growing up. How do you think those sports helped you in lacrosse?
Huge, I think. I think just that having the I mean, basketball is very, very similar to women's lacrosse in this in the offense, I think specifically. And I think just more generally, the athleticism and competitiveness and like just being able to react to different things. I don't know. I think that they translate more than I know and can articulate right now, but I think I'm really grateful for playing those sports growing up. And I know people these days tend to focus on one sport when they're super young, but I'm a big advocate for playing as many as you can for as long as you can.
Yeah, especially with the burnout factor for sure.
Hmm.
But I feel like soccer,
For
like with
sure.
the footwork, that probably translates a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think anything time where you're, yeah, footwork like that, huge.
So I am curious about your recruiting process. How did that sort of happen for you, and how did Colgate find you? And I'm curious, like, what made you want to go there versus other schools you might have looked at?
Yeah. I knew I wanted to be in a good competitive league like the Patriot League, and I also wanted to prioritize academics, being at a school like Colgate. So I was looking at Colgate, other Patriot League schools. I also looked at some Philly schools in the area, just closer to home. But I ended up choosing Colgate. I think I got a good sense of the people when I like the team and like that sort of thing, and also the school itself. Like, yeah, good academics. Really, I'm really glad, happy with my decision, and the way that everything shook out with my team and everything.
How have you learned to balance academics and lacrosse at such a high level?
Yeah, it definitely didn't come easy or come overnight. Definitely things move a lot faster, but I think time management and I know it's probably everyone says time management and doing things. My biggest thing is doing things when I have time to do them. So like I am writing my senior thesis paper right now, but like I know things are going to snowball, especially because we have 5 games in 2 weeks. So I'm like writing things that as I have time to do it, sitting down and just banging it out. And also leaning on my teammates and like sports staff has been really huge and helpful.
What was like the biggest adjustment you had to make to college lacrosse?
Game wise, like my actual game,
It could be, yeah, it could be. I think for some
everything.
people, it's honestly the balance of both lacrosse and sport and academics, just because it's a lot more of a workload than you're used to.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think as far as that balance, there's definitely pockets of time where you get super, super stressed, but being able to separate, like, I'm on the field now with my best friends, like, we're focusing on our next game or our next practice. Like, I need to be able to put everything that I'm stressed about in my life. School, like, needs to just go to the back burner for now. And it's a great 2 hours where I don't have to worry about anything else, which I think is great. I mean, it's easier said than done. But I think being able to separate the two was a thing that I had to learn. Then as far as my like game itself, obviously the college game, everyone's faster, more athletic, high pressure, the pace of the game is moving faster. And that's definitely something that I had to pick up on pretty early on when I got here. I also played crease attack only for 1 year in high school, and then that's where I started in college. So I kind of had to relearn some things and like learn how to dodge from there again. And like it was a whole new learning process. But I'm grateful I ended up where I play now. So it's good.
Yeah. I remember hearing an assistant coach one time saying like he thought practice for those 2 hours was the best part of his day just because like it was the one time he didn't have to focus on school and he got to do something fun. And he like it was
Yeah.
just, like something he got to do every day. So that's the way he looked at it. And I thought that was like a really good perspective because sometimes you forget about that. And I think it is important because the 4 years go by pretty fast, as you know.
Super
So like, and you're
fast.
just gonna, there's gonna be one day in like next year maybe when you're just thinking like, oh, I miss practicing with my friends and stuff like that.
Oh, I know I will for sure, especially as the season's winding down. I'm already starting to think about that.
Now, I am curious. You talked about how competitive the Patriot League is, and just how just deep the league is this season. And I am curious, like, what it's like being a part of that conference and just the competition you face each game.
Yeah, it's super, super competitive conference, and I'm really, really glad we play in it because I think any game could go either way. I mean, we definitely have like the super competitive games we have every year, like Bucknell BU, like I mentioned, or super competitive ones that we always have. I mean, Lehigh Lafayette, we obviously just beat Lafayette by one. Like these are super, super competitive games. Even like the Loyola at the top of the league, like Navy played them close, and then Army just upset Navy. So like honestly, anything can happen on any given day, and I think that's a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, and some great players in the league too, which is a lot
Great
of fun.
players.
Like,
Yeah.
I think Bridget Duffy from Army is one of the top attackers in the
She's so
country.
good.
It's
She's
fun to
so
watch
good.
her play. So I
Hmm.
assume like I know you're competing against her, but there's also part of you like the fan
Right.
aspect that's like that's just so much fun to watch her play.
Yeah, I mean, definitely respect for all the great players in the Patriot League. I think it's like helping the game of women's lacrosse grow, and I love to see, yeah, people really good at what they do. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, one thing that I'm trying to do for every interview that we do is ask a player from that I'm interviewing about one of their teammates so people that are listening can get to know your team a little bit more. And
Yeah.
the player that I picked from your team was Aubrey McMahon. What's it like being your teammate and what makes her such a great player from your perspective?
Yeah, Aubrey's been awesome to play with. She came in as a freshman, so she's obviously a freshman, young player, but she came in and right away we knew she had a great stick, great shot, and I knew she was going to do great things for this program, and I've been lucky to play with her. She's been great, and so is Caroline Panzier, Lucy Licata, Ella Bashara, all these people that I get to play with every day. Like they make me better, and I think um, I've said this before, I forget where, but like I think learning from your teammates is like some of the best things that you can do, and just like having them as your role models every day, and like super proud to play with them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool to hear that you learned from the freshmen as well, because usually think it's the
Hmm.
opposite way.
You can learn from anyone.
How have you tried to help the freshmen and with their adjustment to college lacrosse?
I hope they would say that I like am an ear for them always. Like I hope I like take them aside for practice, shoot with them, hang out with them. I mean, they're all great and like super glad that they have come into this program and that they did. Another freshman who we play a lot with, Olivia McDonald in the midfield. She's made strides on the field and off the field. Super quiet in the beginning of the year, and now she's more vocal and funny. So it's just been great to get to know them more on a personal level as the seasons progress and to see their game improve. It's been great.
Now, what has been your favorite lacrosse memory with Colgate so far? Hopefully, you make the big one this year, but right now, what's like your favorite memory with the team?
I mean, there's so many good ones, like team trips. I've been so lucky. I went to Nashville my freshman year. We went to Florida, but I would say recently the one that sticks out is just our Bucknell win on senior day. It was last weekend, no, 2 weekends ago. It was pouring in classic Colgate Hamilton fashion, pouring all day, but honestly made it more memorable. And like I will not forget that day ever, but it was great.
So let's transition now to a segment that I like to call the non-lacrosse segment, where I ask you non-lacrosse questions and get to know you more off the field. And I'll answer some of these as well to make it more of a fun conversation.
Okay,
So, first one is, what's the best concert you've ever been to?
best concert I'm gonna do. Luke Combs. I went to Luke Combs with my roommate a couple years ago or a couple summers ago, and it was amazing.
Awesome. I would say for me, probably Billy Joel. That was a really good one.
I'm jealous. I would love to go see him.
Yeah, he doesn't come around that often. So I went when I was like really young, like 12, I think, but I was glad I did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
Now, what's been the most interesting thing you've read or seen recently?
Oh, that's a good question. I take this in a couple different directions. I mean, I'm an IR major, so in my classes we're like reading a lot of current events and a lot of stuff, but steer away from that for now. The new Hunger Games book just came out, so I want to get my hands on it, but I've just been reading snippets of it online and stuff, so I'm excited to read it. I'm a
I
big
thought
fan of
they
like
stopped.
the Hunger Games divergent stuff. It's my like secret nerd thing.
Nice,
What'd you
nice.
say?
I thought they stopped making those books. I thought it was like Harry Potter, like after the last one came out, that was it. But that's cool that they're making more.
No, they're making more. Mhm.
I would say for me, probably outside of the Masters,
Uh,
I read it was like it's been like the 100 something year anniversary of one Abe Lincoln being assassinated, but then also the Titanic sinking as well. And it was just crazy like how like on the same day like those two big historical events happened. And I was just reading more about it and it's crazy the manhunt for John Wilkes Booth that took place. I think not a lot of people talk
yeah,
about that and how interesting it is. And then obviously with the Titanic, it's I saw a video where like what it would look like how it probably looked like when it actually sank and just how dark it was, and it's just really sad to think about that because I think people sometimes lose the human aspect of a tragedy like that just because it happened so long ago. But it was really interesting to see like that article and like perspective that they had on it.
yeah, that's super interesting. And I would agree with that.
Now, let's ask you some questions about some of your teammates. So, first one is, which player on Colgate would you want to be stuck on a long road trip with?
Oh. Oh, I could talk to a lot of them all day. I'll go with Mia Hartung. She's a senior defender. She always makes me laugh. So I know we'd have a lot of laughs on that road trip.
Now, obviously, you have the best off the field style on the Colgate women's lacrosse
I'm
team. But besides yourself, who would you say has the best style on the team?
gonna go with junior Josie Cavallo.
Okay.
She's pretty good.
I think everyone has great style. I told that to Lucy when I
Yeah,
interviewed
yeah.
her. So, but I would say you two probably have the best
Hope
style.
Lucy said me. I'd have to go back and check to see who she said. Why I didn't say her, so I don't know.
Oh, she did say you? I don't remember that, to be honest with you. I
No,
just
I don't think she did. I wouldn't have said me.
I feel like you do. I'll say you then. That'll be my answer, even though I don't know any of your teammates. But that's who I'll go with. So now, what is one show you can binge watch all day?
Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds is a good one. That or Grey's Anatomy.
Nice. And then last non-lacrosse question is, what is one place you would love to travel to soon?
It's a good question. Maybe Italy or Greece. Channel my inner Mamma Mia. But yeah,
Are you doing that this summer? I feel like most seniors after they graduate do that.
that's a good question. My class is doing a Europe trip. We're going to Italy, and my family will meet me there. So that I'm really, really excited for that and grateful for that opportunity. So that's gonna be really
Nice.
cool.
Every summer I see the rock photo on Instagram. If you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, it's the one with the blue water and like the arch type rock. I think it's in Greece or Italy or it's somewhere in that type
I'll
of.
have to look into it.
Everyone posts about it and it's always like someone on their senior trip. So I'm expecting to see that all the time every
Okay,
summer now.
I'll have to look into it.
It looks really nice, but I'm not sure where it is in Europe. I know it's somewhere in the Italy, Greece type area. So
Okay.
I'll have to look it up after this interview. I would say for me though, outside of like places in the United States, like I think Nova Scotia is kind of a sneaky underrated place
Yeah,
to go
sneaky
to.
cool. Very cool.
Now let's get back to a couple lacrosse questions now. Firstly, what should be done to help grow women's lacrosse from your perspective?
That's a really good question. Things like this, I mean, are super cool. Like just like the media presence, continuing to stream women's games. I also think doing what we can to make the sport more accessible. I would say nationally, oh sorry, nationwide, and in different like youth pockets of like different youth programs within different states and areas. So like going back home or wherever you're like from and like just continuing those youth clinics and like doing what you can to like spread. Yeah, because it's been obviously such a great experience for me. So I would love to, I've coached a little bit and I would love to keep going back and doing that.
Yeah. And then lacrosse question I had for you is, what advice would you give younger players who might be listening to this on what it sort of takes to be a college lacrosse player like yourself?
I would say find what you love doing and just do it as much as you can without getting burnt out, obviously, but find people that you love doing it with. Like I remember growing up, I would just stay after school with my high school best friends and we would all just shoot and like I have some of the best memories and laughs from them. But yeah, it takes reps and but like when you love doing it, it doesn't really feel like all that much work. I mean, trust, don't get me wrong, there's definitely hard days where you don't feel like getting up and doing it, but the end, it's all super worth it. And I couldn't imagine not playing college lacrosse. Like I'm so happy that I got to continue to do it.
Now, do you have any shout outs you want to give to your teammates, family members, and friends? And who should we have on the podcast next?
Who should we have on podcast next? I think Lucy might have told you, but our third roommate, Nell Miffin, she's a defender. Have to go to her or junior attacker Caroline Pinzier. I think
All
she'd
right.
be cool too.
I gotta get the whole house on to officially complete it.
Yeah,
And I've had
yes.
both of you guys on. So, well, Kaitlyn, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to myself. Obviously, wishing you all the best for the rest of your season. And yeah, good luck against BU tomorrow.
Thank you so much.